Hey everyone, and this is Whitney from Spastic Chatter, and I'm coming at you today with a special focus on what's happening on recent events going on in the world. As a person with a disability, I can relate to how it feels to be stereotyped to a certain degree. I can relate to how it feels to have people look and speak to you differently because it's something you cannot control. I believe we all need to be educated and mindful of others. So today, I'm with a former consumer of mine, Sean Taylor, and this is his platform to speak his truth. We are going to learn more about his life as a Black disabled man in today's society. I'll let Sean introduce himself and then we'll get into the topics. So Sean, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Like Whitney said, my name is Sean Taylor, and growing up as a young black man in the society, uh, when I was a lot younger, I didn't really understand. I didn't really I didn't really understand what it meant to be a person of color because my mom really never forced that upon me. As far as like, you can be whoever you want to be. Color is not really an issue. But as I got older and I started to see the world for what it is and how people are treated, whether you have a disability or you're a person of color, you're still put in a category of, you're treated less than or looked at as less. But, I try to be a good person to everyone that I meet.
Exactly.
That's who I am, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Um. Okay. So the first question I have, um, is in your own words, how does it feel to be a Black man in today's society?
very difficult because I can't, I'm not saying that I can't do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to, but me being a black man, I have to put myself in a certain reality of, I could be judged at any point in time. I could be, being the best person that I can be, but at the end of the day, I could still be seen as a threat because of the color of my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that to, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was saying that to me is very degradative to me. I'm just like, wow, like, damn, that really hurts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking before this, and how does it how does it feel to be a disabled Black man? And can you give us an example of that, like the one you were talking
hmm
about before we got on this call?
hmm Okay. I got pulled over in my town that I live in. I was going to the McDonald's one night and I was going to get some food and I made a wide right hand turn, which I didn't know was illegal. I made a simple mistake. I knew the cop was going to pull me over. Clips on his lights. I pull into the parking lot, comes to the window, asked me, where I'm coming from, what I'm doing. And I told him, I just came from my house. I live here. And I was, going over here to come get some food. And the cop was like, well, you made a wide right hand turn. That's only for semi trucks. And I was completely honest with him. I'm like, I didn't know that I couldn't do that. That was my mistake. That was my bad. And the cop takes my driver's license. He goes back to his car to run my driver's license and all that. And I'm sitting there. I haven't touched anything. I'm still sitting there with my hands on the wheel. I'm not being, smart aleck. or anything like that. And he comes back to the car and asks me to get out of the car. Well, I asked him a genuine question. I'm like, well, can I ask you something? I don't mind to get out of the car, but is there a specific reason as to why I need to get out? And he's like, well, for officer safety. And I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and step out. And I get out, and immediately my mind goes from, okay, I was in the confines of my own car, I was pretty safe, and now I'm outside with what I thought was only one police officer. There were two. He was standing on the back side of my trunk. And as soon as I get out the car, I'm like, oh, okay, I better not move, touch, do anything, touch nothing, say nothing that is uh, of a threatening response. So I take my fingers and I interlock them together and place them right here. The entire time. I'm not moving nothing. Because I don't want to give them a reason to uh, transgress force and violence upon me,
Yeah.
you know? And the cop that was standing back behind my trunk was just fishing, or what I like to consider fishing. He was just asking me nonsensical, non-relative questions to what was going on. And I'm thinking in my own head, I'm like, either I'm going to answer these, because if I don't, he's going to keep, asking me more until I say something stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm really stressing at this point because I'm like, I have two other friends in the car with me, and one of them has had some prior issues with police officers. So I didn't want him to get hurt. I didn't want myself to get hurt. And I explained to him, he asked me, like, I think 3 or 4 times if I had any crack cocaine, marijuana, guns, etc. And I'm like, no, I don't have any of those things. And I kind of got a little bit upset. Not like I was frustrated.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, I don't know how many more times I have to tell you. I'm going to be as respectful as I possibly can, but you asking me all these questions is not okay. I've already told you these answers. You know these things. I would appreciate it if you would only ask me these things once. And he comes back out from running my stuff, and he asked me if he can search my car. Mm-mm. No, you can't do that, and you're not going to. And he was like, why is that? And I'm like, well, because I tried to essentially, like, what I've found with, and this is not all police officers. It's not that I hate police officers. I love all cops, but there are some that are just straight up jerks
Yeah.
and think that because they wear a badge, that it gives them the right to talk to human beings any which way they want.
Yeah.
And I was trying to break that uh, that wall down and to be like, hey man, I'm a human, you're a human. Last time I checked, I had rights. The Fourth Amendment, and I gave him word for word what the Fourth Amendment states, and he caught an attitude with me just
Yeah.
for standing up for my rights.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You hold on a effing second. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States." And at this point, I'm like, "Okay, you've already asked, like, you've already asked me multiple questions. You're not treating me with any type of respect as a human being." Mm-mm. I I kind of got a little bit mouthy with him.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. Bless your heart.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And we're,
And go ahead.
no, you go ahead. This is your platform. You go ahead.
Um, but then when I got back in my car, I rolled up the windows. I stopped there in the parking lot for a minute to kind of collect myself because I was already jacked up on adrenaline and I wanted that to go down, but I was like kind of white knuckling the steering wheel all the way home. And when I got home, I was still just like ev- evoking a lot of frustration. And my dad was concerned. And when I told him what had happened, he was like, "Did you get confrontational with them at all?" I was like, "No, I was respectful 100%. The cop was just a jerk."
Yeah. And didn't you tell me that it sometimes it's hard for you to process what's going on
Hmm.
if they ask you a ton of questions because of your disability. It's hard to process what's going on, so it takes you a second to to
Yeah, fully
comprehend what's
under.
going on.
Hmm.
So, cool. Would that do you think that might have played a part of like what transpired that day?
Yeah, I would say that that was in part of that. And then I don't specifically think it was like racially motivated,
Yeah,
not at all. But at the same time, mm, and they did this just to mess with me. Uh, and I'm just gonna disclose something. On my application for my driver's license, it has like where you put your race.
yeah,
Well, I put black or African American.
yeah,
And the cops, when they run your driver's license, it pops up as either I think it says B for black or BM for black male.
yeah,
They put white on there. Now here's the thing: is I'm considered biracial. I'm also half white,
yeah,
but I don't look white. My skin color is not white, obviously. And I think they just did that just to piss me off, to get a rise out of me. I'm like, you know what, man, whatever. You
yeah,
guys can get out of here with that mess.
yeah,
Um, but you know, I would say that it would behoove people to not only try and be understanding with police officers because they do have a very hard job,
mhm,
but again, don't take any crap from anybody, and I don't care who they
yeah. So that brings me up
are.
to another question. So, how important? How you kind of already answered this, but how important is it to advocate for yourself and to stand up for what you believe in your own words?
I think that's super important because it, it it gives people the power that it gives them an equal sense of leverage in society and with people.
Hmm.
If you can stand up for yourself in any shape, form, or fashion, it doesn't even have to be with the police. It could be in your everyday life, and people could be staring at you or you know uh, trying to push your buttons essentially to like make you
Yeah,
pop off. You know, and I think it's equally important for not just young black men to stand up for themselves, but for everybody.
yeah, exactly.
Because if you don't, not only are people not going to know how you feel, right, but people are just going to continue to transgress upon you
Yeah,
without even any care or concern.
and nothing is gonna change essentially. That brings me to the next question. How do you hope our society changes as a whole?
Just by showing everybody that you meet, and I don't care who they are, whether they are physically disabled, neurologically disabled, black, white, gay, straight, transgender. You should treat everybody with the same decorum that you would want somebody to treat you with, whether
Hmm.
you treat somebody else with, right?
Yeah,
You know, it's very paramount that people understand that we're all human beings.
yeah. I
and
agree.
and we need to realize that, because if we don't, it's just gonna the cycle's gonna continue. But we need to start showing love and compassion to one another instead
Ex-
of hateful, vitriolic things.
exactly. So my last question is do you have any advice for others that want that like for any kind of advice like standing up for yourself,
Hmm.
protesting, anything like that?
Yeah, I do. If you feel like you have a, everybody has a voice, right? And that voice should be heard, absolutely. But even if you have like some ideas that probably don't fit in with mainstream society, say it. Go out there and say it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody is going to to say shame on you for believing in what you believe. Well, that's fine, and you have a nice day. I'm going to still believe whatever I want,
Yeah,
you know. And people also shouldn't shouldn't conform
ex-
to what people want. Not
exactly.
at all, because if you do that, you lose a part of yourself.
I can, I agree with that. I can resonate with that. Um, do you, that's all I have for the questions. Do you have anything else you want to add to this?
Um, hmm. So, Whitney, can I ask you something?
Sure.
So, in your own life, if I'm not being too forward or anything like that, have you ever had instances where you've been uh, profiled
Yeah,
because?
I get, I get profiled. Like, I can think of it. I can think of a few times. Like I mentioned at the beginning. I get profiled all the time for having, for because people see my outward appearance and the way I communicate, the way I talk, and they automatically think that I cannot communicate for myself, that I have a learning disability, that somebody else needs to talk for me, so I can relate in a sense that I've been stereotyped and profiled, but I have never had someone I don't know how to word this. I've never had someone hate me for what I can't control. Like we obviously can't control the, the color of our skin or, or
Mhm.
anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can't I can't control the my disability, but I've never experienced hate because of it. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I got you. I got
I've experienced I've experienced being stereotyped and oppression to a sense, but I've never experienced just hate because of it.
you. You know, mm,
Yeah.
I can understand that. And to also to add just one more thing.
Okay.
This is something that I wish everybody would understand. Like, and I'm pretty sure you get it. Uh, with with what I'm about to say, people of color, like I can't take off my skin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, if I could, if I could just like take it off and be a whole different person, nah, I mean, would I? Maybe, because at least that point I could finally breathe. Essentially, I'm not trapped in something that I can't control.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't do that. That doesn't work. The world doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Society doesn't work that way. You know, but to all the racist people in the world, I say, I don't want to say anything too degrading. Uh, Fuck yourselves, okay? How about that?
Yeah,
Like, but I wish nothing bad upon people who think that way, though.
yeah,
I don't, because essentially that doesn't make me any better. If I'm saying let's go ahead and obviously this is hypothetical, let's go ahead and kill all the racist people. That wouldn't make any damn sense
yeah,
because then at that point we'd be no better. But do I wish that they would change the way that they think? Absolutely. Because if they would strip away people's skin color and just look at them as human beings, they would see that, holy crap, we're all people. But
exactly.
they're probably not ever gonna do that, though,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, but we can.
Give them an E for effort.
Yeah, exactly. So just closing off this episode, what I've learned today from you, Sean, is to make sure your voice is heard, to speak your truth, and to stand up for what you believe in. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this special with me. I've learned a lot,
You're welcome.
and I hope that my view, that the people out there watching this can gain from your perspective. And um, again, thanks for doing this. And
Yeah, you're welcome, Whitney.
um, we'll be back next week with another episode of Spastic Chatter. Thanks. Bye.